It's Tuesday at 3:30. So here I am for another live event, answering questions that have been submitted, or if you have a question you want to submit in the comments, let me know in the comments and I'll try to answer your question. I will start today with a question from Dan Bailey. Why hire a criminal defense attorney when I can get a court-appointed lawyer? So that is sort of a trick question. I guess that assumes that everyone is entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, and that is not the case. In order to get a court-appointed lawyer, you have to be what they call indigent. Indigency, a finding of indigency requires that you make below an income amount, and most courts use the federal poverty guidelines as that barrier. So if your income is such that you are below federal poverty guidelines, then you are entitled to court-appointed counsel. You can't just walk into court and say, I just want a court-appointed attorney. You have to fill out a financial affidavit, and then if you qualify, you are given a court-appointed lawyer. So why hire a criminal defense attorney when I can get a court-appointed lawyer is sort of a question I can't answer, because if you can afford a criminal defense attorney, then you're not likely going to be able to get a court-appointed defense attorney, and so you will find yourself in a position where you do have to hire an attorney. Kara Barnes asks, if I plan on pleading guilty, do I still need an attorney? So Kara, the answer would be yes. You know, if we were going to sit down and discuss this, I would want to go through a whole series of questions of why would you predetermine that you want to plead guilty. You know, your lawyer's going to go through and analyze every step that was taken to get you at this point where you're before the court accused of a crime, be that some portion of the police investigation. In other words, we're going to do our due diligence to make sure you can even be prosecuted. Now, that being said, even if it is going to be an eventual plea of guilty, you still want an attorney advocating for the best possible result, right? I have plenty of clients that end up pleading guilty, but then the issue becomes, what punishment can we get? And so we negotiate that punishment arrangement or plea bargain before you actually plead guilty. In other words, I don't have a client plead guilty until I know what the result's going to be. Otherwise, what would be the point? Because, you know, we're talking in criminal defense, we're talking about the possibility of incarceration, and, you know, taking away someone's liberty is serious. I mean, you know, you can make money, you can do things on the outside, but when you are locked up, taken away from society, I can't think of a greater loss. So there we go. Nick Vargas asks, what is the difference between a dismissal and an expungement? So they're two totally different terms, and a dismissal means that the charge has been dismissed. So you've been arrested, charged with a crime, and then at some later point, it's dismissed for whatever reason, whatever your lawyer did to get you to the point of a dismissal. But if someone does a background check on you, that arrest and charge would still show up on your record. So that's where an expunction comes into play, and that is a document or a petition that we file to have everything about the arrest, the charge, everything removed from your record so that no one can see it in the future. So a dismissal just gets rid of the case. An expunction actually erases the record, and then in the future, employers won't see it when you apply for jobs, that type of thing. Maria Guzman asks, what types of cases does your firm handle? And, you know, I don't know how to say any. Broadly, we hire criminal defense. Anything from, as I've said in previous videos, I've tried everything in my career from prostitution to capital murder. So anything that is a criminal offense, my firm handles. Now, there are different ways we assign different cases. It may be Thomas on this particular case. It may be Jessica on that case, and it may be me on this case. If there is a case in the firm here, we're all on it. We discuss all our cases all the time, so that we all know what's going on. So if you call up here today and want to know about your case, and I'm not here or I'm not available because I'm doing this live video, Jessica or Thomas can take your call, look in our system, see my notes, and see what's going on. You know, one of the big things for me is I want my clients to know what's going on. I want them to be able to call here and get information when they want it. But that's this firm, okay? Elizabeth Sullivan asks, can I change lawyers? I am not happy with the one currently representing me. So the answer is yes. It's actually quite a common practice. If you come here and hire us and you already have counsel, we take care of it from that moment on. You don't ever have to talk to the previous lawyer again. I contact him, tell him him or her, tell him I've been retained, and I file a motion to substitute counsel. We get that filed, and you have a new lawyer. I cannot think of a circumstance where that would not be allowed. I have, for instance, had people call me, they're going to jury trial tomorrow, and they want to hire me. In that situation, you have to ask the court first, because the court may not allow it given that jury trial is starting the next day. And so in that situation, I have to go to court and say, Judge, this person wants to hire me. They're set for trial today. Would you allow that and give me some time to get up to speed on the case before we go to trial? And if the judge says no, well, then I can't come in. I can't get ready for any trial, on one night's notice without having seen any evidence. But generally speaking, yes, you can change lawyers. I've seen people change lawyers 3 and 4 times. Alan Feig, I'm sorry, I don't if I messed up your pronunciation of your last name there, Alan. What is a misdemeanor, and do I need a defense attorney for a misdemeanor crime? So I've gone through the difference between misdemeanors and felonies in previous lives, but Alan, I want to answer your question. So a misdemeanor is going to be classified by the crime or the range of punishment. In other words, there are some cases that are a misdemeanor just because of the charge. The easiest example, and one everybody knows, is your first DWI. First DWI is a misdemeanor, regular DWI. In other words, no accident, nothing like that. First DWI is a misdemeanor. It's a Class B misdemeanor. And so I've gone over this before. Yes, you need an attorney. I mean, you never want to go into a criminal courtroom without an attorney. What happens in criminal court can stay on your record for the rest of your life. So I've seen it. People go into misdemeanor court a lot and want to represent themselves, and the judge goes through an admonishment and they sign a piece of paper that none of them read that basically tells them they're waiving their rights, and the person sitting across from you is a prosecutor and whatever. So they still do it. And then let's say it's a theft case, and I'll tell you why I use theft in just a minute. But let's say it's a misdemeanor theft case. You're accused of shoplifting something from the local Walmart, and you think it's no big deal. So you go to court. The prosecutor looks at your record and sees that you have no prior criminal history. And the prosecutor says, I tell you what, I'll offer you time served and a $100 fine. You're the accused, and you're sitting there and you're thinking, that's it, I can pay a $100 fine and get this over with. And so you decide to do it. Well, what you've just done is pled guilty to a crime of moral turpitude that will be on the record for the rest of your life. And that crime of moral turpitude will prevent you from getting hired almost anywhere. So yes, even if it's a misdemeanor, you still need a defense attorney. Carlos Araya asks, if my driver's license was suspended, what can I do to get it back? So The answer would depend upon why was it suspended. Here in the office, we have an account with DPS. We would get some information from you, look up the status of your driver's license on DPS, determine if you're eligible or not eligible. If you're eligible, then you would just go down and get your license. That does happen. People come in thinking their license is suspended, but we find out it's not. But if you're not eligible, then we look to the reason why, and depending upon the reason why, we help you take the steps to get it back. You know, sometimes it's as simple as paying some administrative costs that are outstanding. Other times we have to file for an occupational license, but whatever it is, there is a road to get your driver's license back. Next, we have Manuel Rivera. What should I look for when hiring a criminal defense attorney? So that's a really good question. And, you know, I used to say that I would, if it was me, I would go interview, you know, several different criminal defense attorneys and see who I felt the best with, who I felt most comfortable with. And I still feel like that, but you know, I want to be a little bit more specific, and it's going to be whoever you feel best about communicating with. Who do you feel understands your situation, hears your concerns, and is willing to and can address your concerns? You know, my office is across the street from the courthouse. I'm here every day. If I'm not at the courthouse, I'm here. I'm not here Saturdays and Sundays typically, but you know, I'm always available. So it happens a lot. Clients don't make an appointment. They just come in and they want to know a status on their case. It happened to me today. And that's fine. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm here. If you can't communicate with me and I can't communicate with you, how are we going to have a good relationship moving forward? So that's something you need to take into account. And I say that because people call me all the time and say, I have, you know, so-and-so attorney and he won't ever return my calls. I can't get to the office. He doesn't have an office. Or if he has an office, it's always closed. And so, you know, depending on your personal needs, what are you going to want from your attorney? You need to go interview that person before you pay him any money and decide, is this the right guy for me? I don't know, you know, like I said a while ago, answering one of the previous questions, what happens in criminal court can very well have an impact on the rest of your life. So if you're going to pay someone money to help you make decisions that could possibly affect the rest of your life, you want to make sure you're giving your money to the person that you feel most comfortable with, not who your buddy says is the best. You know, you need to go find out for yourself. And I hope, Manuel, I hope that answers your question. You know, I couldn't be any more specific unless you gave me a case. This is what my charge is. What do I want to ask my attorney? I guess we could go in a different way on that answer. But that was all the questions I had through email. I don't see any in the comments. So I guess I will see you guys next Tuesday at 3:30. Everybody have a good day.